What is going on, guys? In today's video I will show you how to get overpowered early in Path of Exile 2. In this guide you will discover the most efficient strategies to level up quickly, with detailed tips and tricks for each class to help you reach the highest level and the best gear in the shortest amount of time. PoE2 is a complex game with slow progression, but by following these tips and tricks, you will be able to navigate through the campaign and head into the endgame with the best possible setup. So, in PoE2, the max level is 100. The game focuses more on gear and character optimization than just leveling. So, while reaching level 100 is a significant milestone, you'll also need top tier equipment to take on the most challenging endgame content. And that's why following a leveling guide to maximize your XP gain through the campaign and endgame maps is essential. In general, there are two core progression systems, the character level and the skill gem level. Skill gems have varying level caps depending on their type, so 4, 5, 6 or even 20, and upgrading your skill gems is crucial for increasing your character's effectiveness. By progressing through these levels, you'll unlock abilities and gain access to powerful passive and active skills, allowing you to fine-tune your character's playstyle, which are known as builds. And these will play a huge role not only in the early stages of progression, but also throughout the whole game. The main campaign in PoE2 consists of 6 acts. Based on initial playthroughs and my own experience, each act usually takes between 1 or 2 hours in the easiest difficulty to complete for experienced players, or from 3 to 4 for newer players. But of course, all of this will depend on how thoroughly you explore side areas, how many enemies you engage with, and whether you're rushing through or taking your time. Upon completing the campaign, players are typically around level 65 or 70, which sets the stage for progressing into the endgame content. Unlike other games, the progression from 70 to 100 in PoE2 is slow and grind heavy, especially without optimized strategies, and usually this could take players anywhere from 50 to 100 or even more hours. Before we can talk further about the quickest ways to level and get the best gear, we first have to understand the difference between softcore and hardcore leveling. So, leveling in softcore mode is less punishing compared to the hardcore. In softcore, when you die, you can respawn at your hideout or the last waypoint you visited. In contrast, the hardcore is far more challenging. That means the end of your character's progression, forcing you to start a new character from the scratch. This is why hardcore players need to be extra cautious, as losing a high-level character can be incredibly frustrating. For 99% of the players, I recommend to start your first game in the softcore, aka the normal mode, as hardcore is just way too punishing, and I can assume that every time you die you don't want to start from the beginning. But no matter which one you choose, the process of leveling from 1 to 70 is relatively straightforward, as it follows all the other games, as an introduction to the game and the first milestone that needs to be completed to access the endgame content. So if you focus on completing all the side quests that grant you skill points, then also if you acquire your ascendancy points and progress through the acts effectively, then reaching level 70 should not be too challenging. However, there are still few tips and tricks that I found out to be quite useful in my first playthrough. So first off, stay 3 levels below the level zone. For maximum experience gain, I recommend to try to stay around 3 levels below the zone level while progressing. This will ensure that you come across weaker enemies and can farm them much quicker, thus making you stronger and giving yourself easier time to then challenge the tougher enemies. Second, check vendors for upgrades. Every time I visit town, I check vendors for potential gear upgrades, especially for weapons and movement speed boots. This will again allow me to progress my character bit by bit, so then in return I can kill enemies quicker. And especially if it's your first time playing, coming across new enemies might be very challenging, so getting the maximum out of your character can really save you in these situations and not make your mistakes that punishing. Then third, I recommend to use strong skill gems. You need to opt in for skill gems that don't require many links and are effective for clearing mob groups. Some strong early gems include Fire Trap, Frost Blades or Explosive Trap, but to be honest, any skill gem or its upgrade will be better than none. And then finally, don't go overkill on links. During early leveling, having a 4 link is often enough for most skills, so focus on gear with decent life and resistance, rather than maximizing your skill links after the 4 mark. Next up we have the endgame leveling, which starts from about level 65 to 70 and will last all the way to 100. And this is where the grind becomes more intense. But as I've said, by following a structured plan, it will help you to progress much quicker. So first, you need to understand a term called the League Starter build. This is a build/setup which is very beginner friendly and is focused on starting with a reliable starter build that is good at clearing maps effectively and doesn't require expensive gear to function. In PoE 1, every once in a while the game would reset your progress, so then players came up with builds that focuses on leveling up quickly, without hard gear to acquire. So this is why after reaching level 70, I strongly recommend you to watch one of my videos for a starter build depending on your class and ascendancy. Second, you need to optimize your Atlas tree. I personally tailor my Atlas tree to focus on progressing through the maps as quickly as possible, and I mainly aim to unlock a tier 16 maps. Maps are one of the main types of endgame content, as by placing them in a map device, maps can be consumed to create a randomized instance in which monsters can be fought. Like equipment, they come in normal, magic, rare and unique rarities, and can have their unique special affixes, which make them more difficult, but also increase their potential rewards. Maps can also have quality, which can be improved with the cartograph's chisels, and you can unlock mapping by entering the Val Ziggurat and speak to the Doriani to unlock access to the map device. This will occur around level 65, after you beat the final boss of the Act 3 on the Cruel difficulty. Next we have obtaining waystones. You want to unlock all waystones for your Atlas as early as possible to scale your map tiers and enable higher level content. You can use waystones to explore the Atlas. These are craftable and single use, but don't worry because you will get plenty of them as rewards for killing monsters and completing endgame activities. Each location has different monsters, and one in every 4 zones is marked with a special boss icon, which means that it contains a challenge against a deadly boss. Initially, you will drop tier 1 waystones, but higher level monsters have a chance to drop the next tier, scaling all the way to 16. Like with the most things in PoE 2, you can use a variety of currency items to craft your waystones, and essentially crafting a waystone will increase its danger and rewards. Then the fourth endgame tip is to start juicing your maps, and by this I mean that you want to improve your maps by adding extra monsters, increasing mob density, and using scarabs, sectants and other methods to boost the number of mobs you kill per map. The Atlas of Worlds is an ever-expanding map, but you only get one attempt for each node. This means that if you fail a dangerous node during your exploration, you will need to find another way to get to your desired goal. To enter the zone, you will need a special item called the waystone. These are craftable and drop with specific tier attached to them, which makes area more dangerous and more rewarding. You can also use another consumable, tablets, on precious towers to further customize the content you run. For example, you can add a breach tablet to add more breaches to your maps and make them more rewarding. These tablets are self-reinforcing, so the more tablets you use, the more tablets you drop for that mechanic. And during your exploration, you may find zones with special encounters. The first one is called bosses, and these are very challenging and rewarding. Then the next zone is the precursor towers. These will reveal a large area and allow you to buff surrounding zones by using tablets. Next we have the League mechanic, which is a unique endgame encounter that I've made an entire video on, so check it out. Then next we have the Beast Corruption, which is a special zone with the corrupted modifiers. Then also we got Nameless Year, which offers one unique item for free. Then also we have cities, in which you can find specific items hidden within the city. And then finally we have the special mobs like the Untamed Paradise, which gives a large amount of experience or other unique rewards. Then my fifth leveling tip is that we have to start improving your build. So to progress quicker, you want to focus on farming currency and upgrading your build to increase the speed and survivability. Efficient farming means faster leveling, so after getting to a decent stage in your League starter build, you then want to transition into something better and more longer lasting, which is why I've made and will keep making new build videos for every single setup and playstyle. So if you're interested in that, then just scroll through my channel and you will find what you're looking for. And then finally, my last suggestion is to grind higher tier maps or rotations. The fastest way to gain experience is through running high density maps, or alternatively join a 5-way Legion carries, or Chayula Breachstone rotations for fast XP gain. At this point there are a wide variety of methods available to level up, but choosing the one that fits your playstyle and resources is the key to success. Based on my experience and previous PoE endgame strategies, we can deduct that 5-way carries in Legion encounters, Breach Towns and/or Coward's Trial maps will remain some of the fastest ways to level in PoE 2. However, if the meta changes, I will of course make an updated video. So let me introduce you to my favorite method of leveling, which is the 5-way Legion carries. Here the density of the monsters is extremely high, and with the help of an Arrowbot, the carry player can clear the instance while AFK and gain experience. By doing this, you can minimize the time spent grinding experience. So if you get someone to carry you, then you can farm currency for about 15 to 20 hours to then pay the carry player. And then you can spend 10 to 12 hours AFKing in these 5-way rotations, and this will quickly level you all the way to 100. So then in my few last final thoughts, leveling in Path of Exile 2 will demand careful planning and efficiency, especially as you approach higher levels. By using group play, leveraging efficient farming strategies, and continuously upgrading your gear, you can minimize the grind and reach level 100 much faster than if you were just attempting the journey alone. However, both of them have their disadvantages and advantages. So for example, if you choose to solo level, then you can level at your own pace without reliance on others. You can also then complete most activities without requiring to wait or coordinate with other players. You will also gain more loot while leveling. But then the disadvantages are that you don't get any party XP bonuses, and higher tier maps may be more challenging at the start for a solo player. But then on the other hand, for group leveling, advantages are that you can do faster map clearing with an optimized team. You can also do rotations with friends or strangers, which will reduce material cost. You also gain XP bonus in a party based on the number of members. And finally, you can spread out in the campaign zones to quickly complete the side objectives. But then the downsides are that you get potential delay when waiting on others in the group. You also get less freedom to pursue your own goals at any time. And finally, your group progression can be affected by under-leveled members. So if you enjoyed this video, click like, subscribe and comment. If you're interested in more content, then check out my channel and I will see you in the next one. So take it easy, peace.